Who's a good boy? Oh, you don't like it. Oh, that's alright. More from me. Welcome back, everybody, to my the Kerrnel does Feed the Beast on Trek Ultimate Server. I left my door open and a second dog came in. I couldn't do anything about it, so I decided to tame it. So now I got two pets. So I got double the noise. That's right. You stay there. Alright, been doing some work around the base since the last episode, and elsewhere, for that matter. I finally finished my storage room. Looks a little different, I'm sure. And I kind of went nuts. I overbuilt. All of the barrels that have these torches in them are unassigned. And there's a lot of them. I really don't know what I was thinking. But it's done. Got lots of, I guess, growth room. And I've got lots of chests for little knick-knack things that are left over from builds. Got lots of equipment that I still have yet to use. All of this ME stuff from the Applied Energistics mod will be part of a new base that I'm working on. And I'm not quite there yet, but I built some of the equipment. At some point, I'll get around to it. So I have, well, before I get to that, so this is what the new kind of room looks like. And I've expanded it. I finished off this area here. So this is for all of my building materials and my wood and some wood saplings. This is a lot of the redstone stuff, or the engines. Some of the gems for weapons. And I've learned or been told recently that the blue and the red are actually very useful later on. So I won't be building any more weapons with those. I'll be using the green stuff. Up to 33 diamonds. I've used a few here and there. But by and large, all my weapons are the green sapphires. And I've been doing some business with the villagers. Got me some emeralds. And this is a lot of my piping that I'm now using. I'm, for the most part, not really using any of the buildcraft stuff, and I'm trying to get away from it as much as I can, but there's some things that it's very useful for. So I'm keeping it around. It's on the other side of the wall here, and I'll show you that in a sec. Got into some bluetricity a bit, and this is where I do most of my work. Most of the materials that I use are made of iron or copper or bronze or brass or gold and the redstone. So I got a couple of project tables here. We'll get to that in a minute. Same for that. So we have our dyes and all of our buildcraft pipes. We have some of the ores that I don't really know what to do with yet, and I'm not really using them, so I'm just storing them as ores. And this is our nether and end ores that are coming from those two places. Our foodstuffs and farm stuff. Finally found some melons. And some of our dusts. Lots of open space. Some of the cells that are byproducts, for the most part, of what I've been doing to create silicon cells, as well as sticky resin. Put that in the, I believe it is the electrolyzer. No, I'm sorry, it's the industrial centrifuge, and the cells. No, the cells are not a byproduct of that. I think these are from the electrolyzer, and I'm not entirely certain what I use them for. So we got some tubes, as I mentioned, and these are some of the Zycraft ores. and some apatite, and the quartz for the ME stuff. Most of these chests are empty, don't have anything in them. I built this recently, couldn't for the life of me figure out why I wasn't getting any power to this thing, and then I realized you actually had to have a recipe in the assembly table. So I finally got a recipe in there, and it worked great. So it automatically stuffs things into the chest below, and then I built an autarkic gate from this, so it will automatically feed stuff back into the assembly table, so I just put it on a loop. So I can build a bunch of things and queue them up, and I did that the other night and just let it run overnight, and got 19 autarkic gates out of it, so that was great. Still only running on the one laser though. We'll fix that at some point. And I think I showed the farm last time, and guess I ran out of seeds. Or maybe I stopped it. I can't recall. I think I may have stopped this. And I'll explain why in a few minutes. This here is a new addition, and this is to power the laser. And this here is to power the farm, and I've actually hooked it into the lava that I have in the tank, and I've done some changes with that as well. But now I think because I've switched off of the creosote oil, I may put the semi-fluid generator back in this area here and run the farms completely off of that, at least for the time being, and save some lava. Even though I have an unlimited supply of it, I don't see why I need to use everything, so we'll conserve a little bit. And the router is what I wanted to show you. So we go back here, and so what I did to get this working is we put in an item detector, and what this does is if it will reject everything back. So let me make sure I'm explaining this right. It made, oh, okay, all right. So if there's a backup, so it will detect that there's something in the router, which is behind this filter here. And so it will detect that there's something. So if an item comes back into the item detector, it will generate this redstone signal and cue this filter to pull the item out of the router. So this is basically my overflow for if something gets clogged, or if the router gets, if there's no barrel for whatever item comes in. So it will come back through this pipe, and it will go into the overflow chest, which is this crystal guy. So it will come in here. This is my Thompieri stuff, and let me show you the piping for that. I've added some of this trade stuff, and they don't work right now because nobody else is using them, but I got a bug up my ass, so I decided to make them. I'll come back and explain this in a minute. Haven't really done much in this room. I've added 3 more generators for the geothermal, so it can give the MFE more power, because I was running out because I was doing a lot of processing to build some things. So that is squared away. No real changes down here except for the pneumatic tubing and that was something that I hadn't done. I'd actually just taken down the Buildcraft pipes in the last episode, so this is what I put back in. So the blue is going to the macerator, the red is going to the furnace, and then the items are coming back out on a 5-second timer, and they're coming up and going to the chest. So the macerator will send everything back up to the chest, and then the chest will send them back down to be smelted, or at least whatever I want to get smelted that comes out of the macerator. I could send it directly right in, but that sometimes can cause some issues. It's still an imperfect system, but for what I use it for, it works well. So the overflow tube comes down here and goes up to the chest. Now, all of the items, so this center chest is linked to the one up there. So if I have manual items that I want to stick in there to get put into the system, I'll use that. That chest is also linked to the chest in the mining world, and it's also linked to this chest. So this is where everything kind of comes in, and this is on a 1.25 second timer. So all the items come in and they get pushed out and into the sorter. And I can't remember what this device was called. I think it's one of the only Bluetricity ones that I use. And I built some Blue Electric machines, and the only reason I built them was to create these. So, and this is the battery box. Thermopile, that's what it's called. So you have a lava source underneath, and then you have water around it, and it generates current based on I guess the energy or the temperature difference. So it keeps this thing powered. This is the sorting machine. So this is all the stuff that I want to go to the macerator, and this is all the stuff that I want to get smelted. Dirt is going to the farm system. I have so much dirt I'll never use it, so I'm just leaving it go to the farm system. I've actually got another barrel there for that, but I'm not, we'll get to the farm in a minute. And this is all of the shards from, I believe this is Thaumcraft. So that's going to my Thaumcraft chest over there. And everything else goes at the default, and it goes up to the router. So we already saw where this went, over to the macerator and the smelter, and this goes over to the farm system. Now this was an experiment, a failed one, to try and get some sort of automation into the farm. I know that you can do it. I've just failed at it. And I kind of run out of patience with it, to be honest. So this is the moistener, and the wheat's supposed to come in here and get turned into to mulch, and then the mulch kind of gets piped out. And the problem that I have with this whole setup is that with the Buildcraft pipes, things just kind of spit out everywhere if there's nowhere for them to go. And so you got to put loops in, and it just gets so friggin' confusing when you've got loops. I wanted to use the pneumatic pipes, but even that's a nightmare, because then you have to have requesters and filters, and just it's too confusing for me anyway, and I just don't have the patience for it. So yeah, I've kind of abandoned this effort, and it looks like a spaghetti mess. So I am powering everything, coming down here, and I've started to use some of the gates that I created. This is the carpenter to create the hummus, which doesn't really go anywhere. So I don't know. I think, actually, now that I think of it, the seeds are all coming down here. That's why they're not up there. which is fine. I mean, I've got enough of this stuff to last me, but I'm going to tear down that farm and redo it. I have recently been educated on the benefits and the potential. I think the farm that I was using, those farms are probably going to get deprecated at some point. Probably most likely in 1.5, whenever that upgrade comes out, because there is a multi-farm setup, and that is what I'm going to do next episode. And I'm probably going to work with one of the other guys on the server on doing that. So that will be a nice little project to get rid of this stuff in here, get rid of the tree farm, get rid of the wheat farm, and create a multi-farm. So that will be my first foray into that. I've been doing some testing on a single player world, just a test world, to try and figure out how all that works, and I think I'm onto something. So hopefully we'll be able to use that design or something similar, and get something working on this world. So coming down here, we have done a few changes. Built a 7x7 tank for all of the lava, and we now have the creosote running into the old lava tank, which is a 5x5. So we've got lots of how come I'm not being able to fly? That's not right. Come on, man. I got juice in it. Well. So I donated to the server because Trec does an amazing job, and I know it costs money to run things. So I did donate. So if you don't see it because I turned my chat off, but you get different ranks and stuff. And one of the things that you get, which I could have done without it, but now that I have it, it's great. I would have built it at some point anyway, but you get an advanced electric jetpack. I think you get an advanced lab pack or something, which I haven't used yet. You get another drill, mining drill. I think I got some of this stuff in here. Not there. Here. You get an MFSU, so I don't have to build one when it comes around. You get a nuclear reactor. You get another quarry. Well, you get a quarry. I already had one, so now I have two. And I think that's it. Oh, and you get some iron, and you get, I think, like 32 diamonds and some other things. So that was pretty good. They certainly got put to good use. So this is the farm. Not much has changed. And this is that blue electric stuff that I was talking about. I have come up with a need for wool, and especially since some of the villagers are selling emeralds for wool, just create a quick little what is this, flaxseed farm. So one of the things that you get from the flax seeds is string. So I have created this little farm. I'll probably tear this down at some point as well, just because it doesn't look right. Got my little melons growing here. So this is all going to change, and this is going to be where the multi-farm is going to go. I haven't done anything new up there, so we're going to kind of tear this down and put the multi-farm here and see how that goes. We're probably not going to build the big one. It's going to build a small one because my big one is going to go at a location to be revealed later. Another thing that I've been working on is computer craft, and I have put in this program. I wrote a little program here, and this allows me to, so between the last episode and this episode, so I showed you the zombie XP farm, and I did reveal that I had attained a tier 5 blaze spawner, or a tier 5 blaze soul shard. And I also spent a few hours, well, a few more than a few, time in the end and farming some ender pearls. So I have 3 tier 5 spawners. So the zombie farm is my XP farm, and I use the blaze rods and the ender pearls for other things. Most notably, the blaze rods are a great source of power, never-ending power for that matter. At some point I'll probably put a steam generator in, or a steam boiler, whatever they're called, and use the solid fuel box and use that for power. And the ender pearls I obviously use for my anchors. So, and I've also set up a little bit of a shop because I know some folks find those difficult to obtain. So if I have a few extra, why not provide them for others to use? So all I need to do is right click on these and it turns it on, and a right click, turn it off. And I click down here and it ends, and I call it corn. And I don't know why I called it. I think I was tired when I wrote it, because corn obviously does not spell Kerrnel's operational readout system. That would be cores. So I need to come up with another acronym, maybe network, I don't know. So it's about, I don't know, 100 lines of code, kind of mishmash of bits and bobs from other people that have done some programming, that have done similar things. Took some of the code from Direwolf 20's tutorial on this. Oops. So this is kind of cool. And what the? Okay. So we use the wireless transmitters, and we use the bulk cable coming out the back, and we have 3 different colors, and that goes down to the spawners. Actually, let me turn them on. I'm not going to turn on the zombie one because I don't need that. And as you saw, I had like stupid number of stacks of that stuff. Still haven't done anything with that room. I almost fell down here once while the spawner was on, so this has got a fence now, and this is to control that. This Endermen Farm, and I'll put the gentleman's name in the description, but he had a great, this is the only one of its type that I've seen, and it uses quicksand. And quicksand, I guess, is a transparent block as far as the spawner is concerned. Otherwise, the Enderman won't spawn here because it's only too high. So you have the quicksand. They can't move. They can't disappear. It's great. And I put some transposers down on the floor, and they all come into this redstone piping and into this chest that links back up to the one in the main sorting room. And this clicks like maybe every 10 seconds there's a signal, and you need to have redstone dust to interface with the redstone red ally wire. And the red ally wire is, I'm actually running this all the way down to the next level, which is where the blaze spawner is. So this works very well. I was quite happy with this. And as you can see, the redstone dust actually interface. You can see it through here. it actually interfaces with the redstone power pipe. For some reason, the red alloy wire doesn't talk to the pipe, but the dust will, so that's why I'm using the dust here. And it's great because I can interface that and run this downstairs, and here are the blaze dying in the water. I've got 2 source blocks in the corners, and they are pushing to this middle line. So I stuck a transposer on each one of those blocks, and it sucks up all of the blaze rods. And the timer upstairs is running basically the pulses for down here as well. So this is every 10 seconds. So the reason for the pulses is that you need obviously power for the transposers. So because the pipe is touching the transposer, you'll get your redstone signal and get the items pushed out. And this is another chest that's linked to the same chest, so there's like 5 of them. So they all, there we go, they all link back up to the main room. So that is my spawner system. I love it. And another addition, so one of the things that happened on the server was that we had a conflict with, oh, I did turn that on too. We had a conflict with the melee turtles and a couple of the other mods that were installed. So unfortunately we cannot use those until that's corrected. So I don't have any automatic way of killing the zombies. So either I do it by hand, or I go to my old standby that I use on my single player worlds when I have a zombie spawner, and that is to use splash potions of healing. So I set up my little station here. Nothing in it. Really simple. Throw those 3 in there. Nether wart gives you, can't even remember the name of the potion. And then you use the glistering melons, which is thankful that I found those melon seeds. You use the glistering melon. Actually, you know what? I don't think I did find those seeds. I think I bought them at the market. And we'll take you on a little tour of the spawn area. They've done a lot of great work there. Awkward potion. There we go. So you stick your glistering melon in there, and then they become heal potions, and then you use your gunpowder to make them splash potions. And these are them. So I take 1, and what I found is that if I have 0 levels, I can count up to E is 155 or 160. Throw a splash potion, kills them all, and I am level 30. It's awesome. So there we go. So I'm that's actually what I was originally going to do until I found the melee turtles. So it worked out. You know, it's a little bit of an inconvenience, but as long as we get them fixed, no big deal. Done a little more renovations around here. This is turn the little back area into a back deck, little boat dock, and still have to close this in, but this is still not sure what this is going to be. Probably like a bedroom or something like that. Some glass. Don't know yet. Still have to figure things out a bit. I'm not sure what material I want to use, but been a little busy doing some stuff. And that's to keep everybody out. I found a sheep wandering around in my base. Didn't like that. So, let's see, what else? I guess we'll go to spawn. Let me make sure I got my chunk loader or my personal anchor. There we go. So, I can't do that with chat not enabled. So let's enable it. So look at this. This is great. Malection and Trec have been doing a lot of great work lately. It's a little laggy, and we've been trying to figure out why. We think it might be the computer displays, but I think those have been replaced with wool and some other microblocks. But then we also thought that some of the microblocks might be the cause of it as well, so we're not entirely certain. Still looking into it. But so that's the portal area, which we showed. We're doing a lot of market stuff. I think my personal opinion is that we're selling too much and making things way too easy. But, you know, we'll see. We've had a lot of new users to the server over the last week, which is awesome. Oh, this is new. Oh, somebody's been doing some changing around. So these are more decorative blocks. You know, I personally think we can build these, but some of them are convenient to have. Whereas I think some of them, well, I guess that's my opinion. And that's all it is, my opinion. I'm sure a lot of people appreciate it. I guess there's going to be a tool shop. And this is just kind of wool. And I think this is the farming area and some of the arboretum stuff. And I think, yeah, this is where I got the melon seeds. So we've got a pretty good economy going. And this is flowers if you want to do bee stuff. There's going to be a bee shop. Twilight Forest decorations, and this is the area for the users. So we got War 2 is selling fiery ingots from Twilight, glowstone dust, redstone. He's selling diamonds. So the economy is so $100. So this is dollars. So $100 is one iron ingot. So that's kind of the base of our economy. So people are selling lots of stuff, and some people have inappropriate store names. Mine is not. Mine is Kerrnel's Mob Stacks. So I'm selling Ender Pearls and Blaze Rods. So there's the arenas for Spleef. It's looking good. Looking really good. Trec took a stab at doing a lighthouse. Looks pretty good. Maybe a little flat on top, but that's alright. And yeah, you can see how laggy it is. So if anybody has any thoughts on what it might be, let me know, and I will pass the word along. So another thing that I have gotten access to is an additional home, and this will be the last thing I show you because it's something that's a little bit of a work in progress, and this is where my big farm is going to be. I spent a while doing this, and I need to put some more of this glass in. But this is just an enormous area, and I used a mining turtle to dig it out, and it's just huge. I don't know why I decided to do something that big, but it's I think it's like a 25 diameter. I'm sorry, 25 radius. So it's 50 diameter. So it's pretty large. So I'm going to have huge multi-farm over here, probably stacked. Maybe doing trees and some other things. I'm not certain. I do want to have like a cow farm or something, or some sort of livestock farm automation going on over here. Maybe a cow milker. I don't know. I mean, that area here just screams a stairway. So there's so much possibility over here that um, I'm just looking forward to building it. So the one thing that is going to go here that I'm certain of is my applied energistic stuff. So it'll be this level, maybe the one below, and we'll obviously build up above an above ground structure. So we'll have all of the applied energistic stuff in here doing their applied energistic stuff, and we'll have some underground tunnels going to different areas as we expand the base. So I am looking forward to this build, but this is kind of a work in progress, and it will be for a long time because I am nowhere near ready to move in here. But looking forward to it. So we'll go home, finish up the episode. So this is some of the things that I've been working on. And next episode, we will get to tearing all of this stuff out. Not this stuff. This stuff. Getting rid of all of this crap and putting in a multi-farm up above, replacing the tree farm, and probably relocating the flaxseed farm, or the flax farm. So hopefully this was interesting. This has been a lot of work over the last week or two getting this stuff built. So hopefully you enjoyed it, found it a bit enlightening and useful in some way. And as always, if you have any comments or suggestions or point out ways that I can do something better, I'm always open to feedback. And again, making absolutely no money off of this, no revenues whatsoever. This is doing just for fun. So if you do like it, give it a like. And if you don't, my apologies, and hopefully we'll do better next time. So until then, take care, and hopefully we'll see you back.